all our Muslim viewers, it's just a happy day. After 30 days of the fasting, joyfully Muslims are just around now leaving prayer grounds up and down the country. Even TVC premises, because of its expanse, is a prayer ground, and faithful are just leaving. So there are factions in there. There are personalities that we have heard of who have claimed to be acting chairman, and all of that. And the matter has gone to court. But I guess the clearest public news that we have is that the factions have now agreed to go and settle out of court. Now, to help us make sense of this, our guest is Mr. Lukayode Salako. Mr. Salako is the immediate past chairman of Labour Party in Lagos State. And a fine morning to you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming along.
Yeah, Ramadan Kareem, Nigeria.
Ramadan Kareem.
To our lovely Muslim brothers and sisters all over the world.
Indeed.
Ramadan Kareem.
So, peace is about to return to Labour Party because, since I introduced you as the immediate past Labour Party chairman in Lagos State, I guess to continue to be strictly correct, can we say that what you shall be saying about Labour Party will be from your own point of view, from your own perspective?
Definitely.
Okay.
I am here to contribute from my own point of view to what I understand about the issue and what I feel I should talk about it.
Okay.
As someone who is still a stakeholder in the affairs of how the party runs in Nigeria.
Even though
as immediate past
because you withdrew as the chair on Lagos State,
yes,
but
I did.
You still are a member of the party.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Emotionally.
Oh, okay.
Emotionally, I'm still a member. But by virtue of a certain purported suspension, sanction, that is on about 6-7 of us in the party. So I want to say that I remain partyless for now.
But you were not expelled, you were suspended.
Yes, so, I am partyless for now.
But you were suspended, not expelled.
No.
Therefore, I mean, your card was not withdrawn.
They can't expel me because I didn't kill.
Exactly.
I didn't steal and I didn't kill.
So you haven't, with the caveat that it's going to be from my own point of view, I'm a stakeholder, I'm close to the party of one of the states, Lagos State. So that's why I guess we'll be getting some sort of an insight. The latest, as I was saying, was that now the parties that were warring and that constituted what we refer to as the crisis within Labour Party, they have all agreed now to go and settle out of court and settle amicably. How is that going to work?
Well, in my own opinion, I think that is the wisest solution to the problem. Because the two parties, if they continue to drag the issue, it will continue to affect and ideal survivor, the operational sanity of the party. Because since the issue started, I have been keenly an interested party by virtue of the appointment I still owed, the position I still owed before I became partyless, which I have not been relieved of it. I still believe I'm still holding it. I am the special advisor to the office of the national chairman of the party. on Lagos State Labour Party affairs and its liaison operations. So by virtue of that appointment, I should be interested in the issue and what is actually happening and what has happened. And from the information I gathered, because I've been speaking with the lawyers, the lawyers in the party, who I'm privy to have, share close relationship with, from Lagos here to Abuja. I've been calling them for them to let me into the legal, their own legal perspective of the issue. I actually wanted to know whether it is the Julius Abure side that is on the right side of the law, or the Alhaji Lamidi Apapa side. So I've been interested, and I've been making calls, I've been asking questions, I've been educating myself about the issue. This is what I've been able to gather from my own, from the information bank, that I brought to this place. First of all, let me acknowledge the fact that the embattled national chairman of the party, Barrister Julius Abure, is my boss. Is my boss, in whom I'm well pleased, because he's the one who made me who I am in the Labour Party today. He gave me all the appointments I've held, and it is still assumed that my loyalty, my allegiance, should still be standing with him.
Okay.
So,
when
I am standing with him.
Okay, but when you say he gave you all the appointments you have held,
yes,
was that democratically done? Because that could also be an issue.
Well, according to the constitution of the party, it is there in our party constitution that the national chairman of the party shall have the power to make appointments.
Okay.
Especially to have special advisors into 6 different offices. So he is entitled to 6 different special advisors. That is his office, and in which I am holding one of those 6 offices. So that settles that.
Yeah, but
it is legally inclined.
Special advisor, you said.
Yes.
But chairman,
to his office.
Okay.
To his office.
Because there's a difference between that office and that of chairman of Labour Party.
No, you see, when I was being forcefully asked to step aside as the state chairman of the party, because of the pressure they put on Abure then, he was under pressure to tell me to step aside.
Okay.
So that there could be, according to the way they called it, money for election could come into Lagos. That if I don't go, money for election will not come into Lagos. And because I wanted money for election to come into Lagos, and for the Lagos Labour Party to have access to resources to be able to run the election, the last general election, as a patriotic Nigerian, as a loyal member of the party, as a committed member of the party then, I agreed to step aside. He now said, Salako, you really tried for the party. You did well. I saw your work. I wouldn't have removed you. I wouldn't have asked you to do this. But I am under pressure. But to assure you that I'm still with you, I want you to still continue to work in the party.
Okay.
To work for the party, to be part of the operations of the party. I will give you, by virtue of the power of my office. That was when he now gave me that appointment. He now said, I am going to be working directly with his office. But I'm going to be in charge of how the Lagos State Labour Party was going to be running. So he said,
this was after the election.
This was
before
the election.
Before the governorship election.
That was 1 month.
Before the governorship election.
1 month before the election.
Because I recall that following the election, you had granted an interview with areas that you were very displeased about, citing some of them as
Yes, I was talking then and operating then as the SA in my capacity as the leader of the party. By virtue of that appointment, I am the most senior, official of the party.
In Lagos.
No other person is holding a higher appointment than me in the party in Lagos State.
Yeah.
So that also makes me a national official, a national official of the party in a way. So that aside, he gave me that appointment, and by virtue of that appointment, I have been operating as the supreme leader of the party in the state. So I should definitely be on his side in this. But Alhaji Lamidi Apapa too is like a father to me. Apapa is like a father to me in the party. I share personal relationship with him. I know him too well. He is not a mole. He is about the most respected elder and the most senior, the highest ranking official of the party, next to the ambassador chairman of the party, Julius Abure. After Julius Abure, in order of hierarchy in the party, is Alhaji Lamidi Apapa, because Alhaji is his deputy, direct first deputy chairman, national chairman of the party. So what Alhaji Lamidi is claiming now, what Alhaji Lamidi's side is claiming now is that, according to the constitution of the party, once the national chairman of the party cannot perform his function as the chairman of the party under any reason, under whatever any reason, constitutionally, the constitution of the party empowers that, dictate that, stipulate that the next person that should take over constitutionally is Alhaji Lamidi Apapa.
Okay.
And that is what the man is laying claim to now. Now, this is the issue. I know all these my guys very well. All are close. Operationally close. Fused. From Comrade Abayomi Arabambi, who is supposed to be the National Publicity Secretary, to the National Legal Advisor of the party, Akingbade, to Alhaji Apapa himself, to Clement Ojukwu, the embattled national organizing secretary of the party, to Oluchi Opara, the national treasurer of the party. I know all of them. They used to work together. They used to be together. But what actually caused their issue, to the extent that they have to be dragging themselves to the courts for power tussle supremacy, in the national leadership of the party now, is what beats me Olo.
Okay.
But the issue is this. I have an idea of what caused it, but it is an internal information of the party, which I cannot sit down here on the live television and be sharing with the public. But the fact of the matter is, what caused their issue, to me, is something they would have handled with that spirit and letter of true understanding, communication, and reconciliation. And let me tell you this, sir. Until Labour Party's culture of operation, I operated the Labour Party at a substantial level. And I know that one of the things, the attributes that Labour Party as a social institution lacks is ability to reconcile, to quickly call for reconciliation when it is necessary, to reach out to aggrieved members, set up a reconciliation committee, bring everybody together, let everybody hear his view, hear from both sides, and make it a closed door reconciliatory achievement. That is one thing that I see that is still lacking and lagging in the culture of operation of the Labour Party system in Nigeria.
That is, as you've said from the very beginning, as you said from the very beginning, this is your point of view.
My own personal point of view.
This is your own personal point of view.
What they are returning to now, out of court settlement, reconciliation, they are adopting now, the two sides are adopting, is what the two sides would have adopted.
Maybe started off with.
Before this issue would, one, get to court. Those who went to court, those who dragged my principal official to court, Julius Abure, those who dragged him to court were his own closest pals. Operational mechanism pass in the party. So what made them to drag him to court is something that they would have looked into, talked about among themselves, and in the spirit of reconciliation, come to an amicable resolution.
But the good thing
instead of allowing it to become a public here, to get to the stage.
But the other thing that was stated was that it wasn't as if the court sort of compelled them. It's like they were in agreement that we agree, both sides agree to that ruling.
It is because the court keeps sustaining the order to restrain those 5 national working committee members of the party. Those 5 national officials of the party they are about the most senior, most prominent 5 prominent officials of the party. When we talk about the national chairman of the party, we talk about the secretary, the national organizing secretary, the national treasurer, and one other person. 5 of them. Those are the key people. So by the time the court is saying, stop parading yourselves, pending the time, the charges that were brought against you will be looked into by the court and resolved by the court. Stop parading yourselves as national officials of the party. That is the window of opportunity. Alhaji Lamidi Apapa, I call him Apapa, he's Apapa, wants to explore to assume the leadership role of the party. Alhaji Lamidi sees himself as the person that should take charge when the national chairman of the party is still under his restraining suspension. So he is claiming that, the constitution of the party says once Julius Abure cannot perform his duty because of the court restraint order, he should be the one. And that is what the constitution of the Labour Party says.
Indeed.
That's the truth.
Before you continue, and thank you very much so far, Mr. George has called in. Good morning to you, Mr. George. Baraka de Salah.
Baraka de Salah, Uncle Yori, and same thing to Mr. Salato.
Yes.
Uncle Yori, from what Mr. Salato is saying, I would like to ask him a question. He appears to have been in the party long before Peter Obi came. And the structure he is talking about has been in place before the advent of Obi in the party. It looks as if the corporate culture of Labour Party before Obi is different from what it is now after Obi. Is Mr. Salako comfortable with what Mr. Obi has brought to the party, the way the supporters of Obi behave in an out manner, abuse others, they have no respect for anybody? He's comfortable with that?
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. George.
Should I respond to that?
Yes, please, if you will.
His own observation about the operational attitude of many of the supporters of Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party. Many of the supporters who came with him came to the party with a premeditated mindset. And that mindset is that whether crook or by crook, Peter Obi must run the election, and win at all cost. So it appears that is the kind of mindset they came with. But the fact of the matter is,
Yeah, but all members of a party want their presidential candidate to win.
no. All want, including me.
Okay.
I wanted the presidential candidate of my party to win. I was in operation with them.
Okay.
But the fact of the matter is, when it is in your mentality, you came with a premeditated mentality. It is in your mental system that, okay, this Peter Obi, it is like saying it is torn by force to rule. So, if anybody now expresses any contrary opinion to anything that has to do with Peter Obi, you see them coming at you, coming for you.
Okay.
To the extent that when I was the state chairman of the party, I faced that harassment. I faced that intimidation. I faced a lot of, verbal abuses. I faced a lot of things.
In fact, you had said at the time, if I remember your interview, that even the governorship candidate of your party in Lagos State, frankly, the way he conducted himself vis-a-vis you as the chairman, you were at a loss as to see how are we members of the same team here.
You see, Gbadebo's issue, I think I've been here once to talk about it. The issue is Gbadebo Roosevelt was the architect of his own misfortune on his own project, his own governorship project. He himself knows. Gbadebo himself knows that he didn't behave well. When I was the state chairman of the party, all I was asking Gbadebo, I wasn't asking him for money. I wasn't asking him for anything else than to do the right thing with the party. Do the right thing with the party. Be humble. Humility is a virtue. Character is a virtue. You can't be behaving anyhow to people. You need their favor. And you expect that they would always be willing to go all out there to risk it all for you.
And people who were in the party before you arrived. That is the governorship candidate. Because the Labour was in existence before the arrival.
Definitely. Labour was in existence the same way other insignificant political parties were in existence. It is when Peter Obi came in that political revolution, that noise, that divine grace came on Labour Party. So it is actually Peter Obi that is making Labour Party what it is today. Let's call a spade what it is. Remove Peter Obi from Labour Party today. It is like you have removed the grace. And if Labour Party is not careful, Labour Party will go back to where it was in the past. And that is the reason national officials, our leaders, the leaders of the party that are battling themselves now, should allow this option they have adopted now. That option of going out of court, moving out of court, to go and reconciliatorily settle amicably, so that the party can have its life back. The party can run as ideally as it should run.
Okay, and that...
I am not going to blame any of the sides, because I'm close to both sides. That's the truth. Alhaji Lamidi Apapa is like a father to me. When people say that they don't know him in the party, how will you not know the man that Abure normally sends? If Abure wants to, wants anybody to go and carry out any special assignment for him, it is his deputy, Papa, he normally sends. Alhaji Apapa is the leader of the 5-man team who came to conduct the substitution governorship primary election that gave Gbadebo Roosevelt the ticket. So Alhaji is known in the party. We all know him.
So that order that you're talking about now was disrupted upon the arrival of Mr. Obi in the party, even though you've said, as you said, that without Peter Obi...
To be fair to Peter Obi, he never interfered in the the organogrammic operations of the party.
Oh, okay.
He never tried to influence anything. That's give it to him. He has operated with the party for the National Working Committee of the party to continue to run the affairs of
The party.
According to, in line with the dictates and content of the constitution of the party.
Okay, one moment, please.
So
At this
Peter
stage,
Obi has not been the president. It is the constitution of the party that has been running the party that I know since I came into Labour Party.
Okay.
It doesn't influence anything.
one moment, please. Let me bring in another viewer. Good morning, Mazi Okoroafo.
Good morning, Mr. Salako.
Good morning, sir.
Compliments of the Salah team.
Barka de Salah.
Ramadan
Now,
Karim,
I want us to look at this issue we are discussing this morning. Does it mean that power tussle cannot be settled? Why am I saying it's power tussle? Because if you look around, you see that between Lenten period and between Ramadan period in Nigeria, research has shown that there are a lot of problems, crises in political parties. Now approaching court, does it make sense? You see, not when you say political party, it's just a free will. Nobody forces one to enter any political party. It is not. Instead of approaching court to continue lingering, you settle these things within yourself. That approach, because every man nothing, you see one approaching. I don't know, because people have excess money to hire lawyers, the SAN and the rest. Because outsiders who have interest about the party, when they see all this, they are being discouraged. So, Mr. Salako, please, I will tell your members that
Okay.
encourage outsiders who still have interest about the party for you people to settle that we have make peace. Because this Salah and Lenten period, honestly speaking, crisis upon crisis in political party, Labour is not healthy for Nigeria. Baraka de Salah to all our Muslim brothers and sisters.
Thank you very
Good
much,
morning.
Mazi, for calling in. I guess he's saying he's really talking there about the culture within the party.
Culture of operation.
Yes.
I made mention of that earlier on. You see, the reason, let me first of all establish this, that it is normal for crisis to be in big political parties. The same thing is happening in APC. The APC has its own internal crisis that the members of the party are trying to resolve, to find amicable solutions to. It is in PDP.
Well, there may be issues.
It is in PDP.
Issues.
Issues, yeah. It is in Labour Party. It is not possible when a party becomes a very big political association, comprising, a constellation of all manner of different human beings in nature, deeds, orientation, and actions. You can't.
Because you're making it sound like Labour, the way it was before the arrival of Obi, who you have said rejuvenated the party. I'm getting the impression that there was a cultural shock, so to speak.
Peter Obi only came in with a revolution.
No,
He didn't come in with a new culture of operation.
No.
The culture that has been operating Labour Party before Peter Obi came is what is still running Labour Party. And that is what is still giving Labour Party problem. Let me tell you why issues in Labour Party become escalated.
I don't want to interrupt you. So let me quickly go on the break, so that you will have a clear, track. Stay with us, please. We'll be right back.
As they count down to the inauguration of President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu as Nigeria's 16th president continues, more and more world leaders are showing solidarity with him in recognition of his well-deserved win. The United States, United Kingdom, China, Ukraine, France, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Cuba, Nicaragua, Namibia, and a host of others have already sent in their congratulatory messages. The ECOWAS Parliament and other ECOWAS bodies, the D8, that is, the Developing Aid Organizations for Economic Cooperation, The African Union are among organizations that have recognized Bola Tinubu's impressive win in the presidential election held on the 25th of February, 2023.
The United States congratulates the people of Nigeria, President-elect Tinubu, and all political leaders following the declaration by Nigeria's Independent National Electoral Commission, or INEC, on the results of the February 25th presidential election. This competitive election represents a new period for Nigerian politics and democracy. Each of the top three candidates is the leading vote getter in 12 states, a remarkable first in Nigeria's modern political era, reflecting the diversity of views that characterize the campaign and the wishes of Nigeria's voters.
Namibia also looks forward to a good working relationship with the incoming government of President-elect His Excellency Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
The goal of world leaders is to partner with a prosperous Nigeria, the economic giant of the African continent. Tinubu's presidency is expected to usher in unprecedented growth and development across all critical sectors.
Welcome back. Our guest is Mr. Olukayode Salako, immediate past chair of Labour Party in Lagos State. And as he said from the beginning, he's giving his own point of view, his own, the way he sees goings on in Labour Party. He's still a member of Labour Party, but he's not necessarily the chairman of Labour Party in Lagos. As is known by now,
I am partyless.
Well, okay. Again, let me take it from him. He says he's partyless.
I'm partyless.
Labour Party featured Peter Obi as its presidential candidate in the election. He came third in that election, although the party and Mr. Obi are still contesting the matter. There are many issues, but you were in the party. One of the things I don't want to just jump. I know you were on another track. One of the things that was said in the public space was that the way of financing the presidential candidate of the party, so it was alleged, contributions, donations were coming in, but we're not coming into the party, we're coming into a person. Would you like to comment on that as to the accuracy or otherwise of that concept?
Well, I wouldn't like to go into how the financial operations of the Peter Obi, I mean the Obi-Dati movement, presidential project was run. I wouldn't want to dabble into that because I wasn't allowed, or I wasn't privy to know anything about it. When I was the state chairman of the party, they did not allow shishi. No money passed through my office. I didn't know anything about money.
I see.
And so I don't want to comment.
No shishi, as you said, even though we say sisi, but you are saying shishi.
No money passed through my office. As the state chairman of the party, no money passed through my office.
Good morning, Reverend Dominic.
Good morning. Good morning, Chief Yori. Good morning to Mr. Salako.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, Yori, happy holiday.
Barikade Salah, Reverend.
Barikade Salah, okay. Yori, let me talk to your guest. Salako is a very, very good gentleman. We have not met one-on-one, but I have known him from far. But I want to ask him this question. Yeah, I want to ask him this question by this story I want to tell him. Mr. Salako, if you have Salako Nigerian PLC, and you are the chairman of that company, and you have an MD who is bidding, your company is bidding for contract from a company, and your MD is the head of that bidding, while you are the chairman, and the wife of your MD is in the other side of company bidding the same contract, will you trust that MD? That's one decide. Will you trust that MD? Be frank to me. Because I've heard you in other interviews that you're not too happy about the governorship candidate Labour Party in Lagos because they remove you because you are a stooge of APC. Now, this is why I give you that analogy. If you're chairman of a company and your MD is bidding for a contract, and the other side of the company, the wife of MD is bidding the same contract, will you trust that you are MD? Knowing that this contract has some secrecy of document. Thank you.
Okay, Reverend has brought out his own parable. It's not a biblical parable, but he's brought it out. And I think,
yes,
do you understand it?
Yes, and that is the reason I am going to be leaving Labour Party. I don't have any choice than to withdraw my membership from Labour Party because of distrust. I have never been trusted. What they keep harassing me with in Labour Party is that because my wife has been on the other side of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu presidential project. Because of that, I can't be in Labour, I can't operate inside Labour Party and ever be trusted. And what I will tell, how I will respond to
Reverend
Dominic is this. If my wife is working in another company and I'm working in another company, those companies will have operational rules, company policies, laws that run the affairs of those companies. So, if I have to be bidding on the other side of where my wife is, and because of that, people will not trust me, then what you are saying is that the laws, the laws of that company, then are useless. It means it is the relationship I have with my wife that will now be influencing how I operate in my company. It is the laws of that company that should influence how I operate in that company. It is the laws in my wife's company that should influence how she operates. I don't think, because I am a member of Baptist Church, I'm a Baptist, because I'm a Baptist, and my wife cannot be a Muslim. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a Muslim. The wife is a Christian. Fashola is a Muslim. The wife is a Christian. Zach Oji worked in APC during the presidential election period. And the wife was an obedient wife. She worked on the other side of, maybe because of the position I was holding, maybe. Because as a state chairman of the party, people would ordinarily expect my wife to be with me. But I want to say this on air, be with me. But I want to say this on air, that I thank God that my wife did not come with me. Okay. If my wife had come with me to Labour, then maybe I would have run out of Nigeria by now. If my wife had come with me to Labour, I would have been in serious problem by now. Because I keep asking myself, the Labour Party I went to, they didn't trust me, they didn't give me peace. I ran the office of the state chairman, they didn't cooperate with me, they didn't allow me to carry out my mission. It is one problem today,
and your mission,
problem tomorrow.
Your mission was,
and I left
victory.
I left the office as a frustrated man.
I see. As
an embattled, frustrated man. I didn't achieve anything. Now,
were you surprised?
I am back to that, my wife.
Oh, you're back with your wife?
I'm back to her.
Does that mean, following from Reverend Dominic's parable, does that mean you're back? When you say you're back to that, your wife, you never were separated from her. But does this mean that you are now with with APC? No, the issue almost broke our marriage. We just managed it. I see. Because there was a time, the leadership of the party in Lagos was insisting that it is either my wife comes to join me in Labour Party or I resign. One moment, please, because I've kept Alhaji Subaya waiting for so long. I was under pressure. So, apologies, Alhaji Subaya. Good morning to you, sir.
Morning. How are you, sir?
Very well, thank you. Thank you again for your patience.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let me first of all extend my greeting to the president-elect, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I will say Baraka Disla to him anywhere he is. And I just want to wish him well. Nigeria expects a lot from him, and that is our prayer. We want Nigeria to be great. We want the unity to be, to be installed. We want Nigeria to be proud again. So, and that is our prayer to him. So, Barka de Salah to him anywhere he is. Let me come back to the issue of Ghana, Labour. Now, you remember, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party is a PDP man. The way he rushed out to a Labour. And that is why we in Nigeria, we are seeing the Labour in two forms. There's another Labour somewhere. The core people of Labour, they are with, they are with their side. So by and large, but something that the way you're rushing, we knew, and that is you're going to cause a lot of calamity, and that is the kind of extension you are seeing now. But we are not surprised. You see the result of the governorship election. During the presidency, we see how Labour try, but at the same time, we see the true picture of governorship election, and that will tell you the position of Labour as far as Nigeria is concerned. But that aside, like Dr. Dominic, and
Reverend Dominic, Reverend Dominic,
Lagos within the party. I'm happy with the man you are talking with. He is the former chairman, and there's a lot of castigation, but we don't want to go into that. But what we are interested now, as far as Nigeria is concerned, is progressiveness, unity as far as Nigeria is concerned. We are expecting a lot from President-elect Governor, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We hope and we pray that God will continue to support him. And whenever in fact, if we are expecting May 2029 to call on time, so that we can see him taking the power, the bull, the horn by the bull by the horn. God will be with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alhaji Subaya. And once again, apologies for keeping you waiting all that long. Now, Mr. Salako, continuing our conversation, again, all of it from your point of view. As you know, in the public space there was a talk, right or wrong, about ethnic leanings within the party. First of all, would you say about that? Would you dispel it out of hand, that, or just give me your commentary?
Well, concerning the ethnic leaning issues in the party, well, I would rather want to be on the side of saying the obedient movement leanings. You see, the obedient movement has been an integral part of the operations of the party, of the Labour Party.
Since
system.
Mr. Obi came on board.
Yes. And for that reason, there has been this, struggling between the party, the operations of the party, and the operations of the obedient movement. There have been this kind of, struggling for supremacy, subtle.
But Mr. Obi
supremacy struggle.
But Mr. Obi
between them.
I think Mr. Obi is on record as saying that obedient is separate from Labour Party.
Obedient is separate from Labour Party, but it got to a point that the influence of the obedient movement was threatening the survival of the party.
I see.
I was the state chairman of the party for a few months, and when I was there, it was like the organogrammic and structural operations of the party was sidelined, was relegated.
I see.
For the support groups. The support groups had more powers.
That is the obedience.
Well, the obedient are under support groups are under obedience.
There's more than one support group.
No. There are plenty of support groups.
Plenty of support groups. But obedient is by far the most prominent.
Obedient is the umbrella name.
Okay.
Of all the support groups.
Okay, I get you.
Support groups are in different names, but all of them are categorized under the obedient movement. So, at a point, the operations of the obedient movement was a kind of overriding that of, the influence that the party operation is supposed to have.
I see.
It's like the obedient movement is being given more more importance than
prominence
more prominence than the party.
I see.
So the issue is there is no way a political party will run ideally if that political party is not put in its rightful plan.
I see.
So you can't carry the operation of support groups to start overriding that of the constitutional role of the party. It is the party that INEC officially deals with.
Not opinion.
It is the party that INEC knows. It is the party that DSS deals with. It is the party that other institutions
but people have also
around
said,
the country deal with.
But people have also said that obedience are not necessarily ethnic in that sort of a way. That there are a lot of people not of one ethnic stock that are also obedience.
No. You see, the obedient is a composition of the NSAS, these NSAS agitators, the Nigerian youths, the middle age, class
but
Nigerians.
The point I was making is that they're spread.
A lot of people that came from PDP too.
Okay.
They came from PDP. They didn't come as PDP members. They came with Peter Obi from PDP as members of the obedient movement.
I see.
So the obedient seems to be in terms of operational organization than even the party itself.
1 second, let me bring in Mr. Afere, lest I run into the same problem I had earlier. Good morning to you, Mr. Afere in Yori.
Uncle Yori, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling in.
Good morning to your guests, too.
Yes.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, sir. You see, what I want to find out from your
Mr.
guest
Salako.
is this, Mr. Salako. What is the Labour Constitution saying about vacuum? Just like the PDP, when IU was suspended, the next man in line took over. Is Apapa the next in line? What is his position before he assumed the office?
He explained that.
Chairman or vice chairman South?
Okay.
I want to know from the Labour Constitution.
Yeah, but he explained that already. But it's okay. He'll go over that briefly in a matter of seconds. You've said it already.
Lamidi Apapa is a founding member of the party. He's one of those who founded the party in Ibadan. When Adams Oshiomhole was the president of NLC in the year 2002, he was a founding member. And he has been a member of the party from then to now.
So, but the Constitution says, in the circumstance such as we find ourselves...
I've said that before. That's
why I said you...
Right now, he's the oldest member of the party.
Mr. Ferre didn't say.
And he is the number 2.
Okay.
He is the deputy national chairman of the party.
So the Constitution...
To Julius Abure.
So, which is the chairman?
And the Constitution of the party says, in a situation whereby the national chairman of the party cannot perform his function, the Constitution gives the next person, which is Alhaji Apapa, the right.
Okay, so you said this before. You said
step in. Maybe the way he is now stepping in is what is causing the problem.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not a member of the National Working Committee of the party. Maybe the way Alhaji Apapa stepped in, maybe the way he's stepping in or going about it is the issue.
But
the Constitution gives him the power, and there must be no vacuum.
There must be no vacuum.
There must be no vacuum.
I hope that satisfies
in the leadership operation of the party.
I hope that satisfies Mr. Ferre.
No vacuum.
Because you've gone over this before. But you were speaking about obedience and telling of their composition and all of that and the effect that they had on the party. But something else I also want to clear. You see, Peter Obi came from PDP's public knowledge. Now, this whole matter, going back to Reverend Dominic's parable, you were seen as something of an APC man within Labour Party by some. And I think you've also related to...
Not by some, by many.
By many.
By many, yeah.
Because your wife was in Labour Party.
Because I also was in APC for a long time.
Yeah,
So
your wife was in APC, sorry.
Yeah, my wife worked with Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
There you go.
So they went to go and dig up a picture of my wife on a visit with our group to Asiwaju in Abuja.
And so that
they dug up the picture and they started using that picture to harass me. And they never left me alone up to now. They are still calling me a mole in the party.
But
that it is Tinubu that sent me.
But between you and I, was there any truth
carry out
to that?
A hatchet job
Was
in the party.
Was there any truth to that between you and I?
Tinubu doesn't even know me. Exactly. I have said it. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu might have been hearing my name.
But you've not met with him.
He doesn't know me. He hasn't even started with me one-on-one before.
There you go.
I have not eaten from his 10 kobo before. I'm on a live program. He hasn't given me an assignment before. But
so it's a lie.
I just carry Tinubu on my head because I just love him. That's all.
Okay.
When I was in APC, I was one of his die-hard apostles.
But then
independently on my own.
But now that
and that was what they used to harass me in Labour Party.
And so you said since that time you knew no peace, no sleep.
No peace, even up to now.
Okay.
Up to now, they're still harassing me. They're still calling me all sorts of names. The same way they are calling Alhaji Apapa to now.
Yes.
That is a Tinubu mode too.
Okay. Ada, good morning, Madam Ada in Jos.
Good morning, Mr. Salako. I just got to say.
Good morning.
You're almost running out of time, but I want to say this. Lack of internal party democracy abuse of the rule of law, which is a prominent feature in the two dominant parties and even other political parties, is what is wearing its ugly head in the Labour Party.
Okay.
And then I also take exception from anybody who is trying to say that obedient movement is rude, is that, executed, this and that. That obedient movement, as far as I'm concerned to ask me, is diverse, just as observed, Mr. Yori. And all those traits they are talking about, it's also obvious in the other parties. How do you explain the profiling of a particular ethnic group, not allowing them to vote? Who championed that? But they don't follow us. So I don't like how people calling and saying things that is unfounded, you know. Just because we are seeing from the prism of our own view. That's all the objective when we are analyzing issues. So that is it.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Ada, for calling in. So in rounding up, is there something you want to leave with us in relation to how you were seen within your party and the troubles you had?
Let me just say this.
Sure.
The reason they accuse Labour Party of these ethnic linings is because more Igbos came into the party with Peter Obi. The same way we had more Yorubas too when with Asiwaju. So it is normal. Because an Igbo man was the presidential candidate of the party. So definitely he will get the support of his own people more. We had Yorubas, we had Hausas, we had so many people. The state woman leader of Labour Party is an Hausa woman. It's from the north. Okay. So that's number one. Then number two, what I want to leave behind is that the Labour Party as a social organization should work on its culture of operation. You don't use sanction to deal with any members. Every little issue in the party, you want to suspend people, you want to send people away, and that is what is affecting Julius Abure now. If when all these guys were complaining about certain things, Julius Abure had brought them into a closed door meeting to resolve it, instead of using sanctions. I suspend you. Any little thing in Labour Party, they say they suspend you.
Okay.
Any little thing, they suspend you.
Well,
any little thing, they want you out. They want to do away with you. And that is what is dragging Labour Party into all this mess. The same thing happened in Lagos too.
Lagos.
What they were supposed to resolve with reconciliation, they decided to use an axe.
All right.
To say you are suspending Alhaji Moju Salvador, you are suspending Onitiri, you are suspending Salako, you are suspending MKO, you are suspending all the major Yoruba people.
We've got to leave it there.
Major Yoruba gladiators in the party.
We've got to leave it there.
They decided to go to court now it will be another issue.
Another crisis.
Another crisis.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Olukayode Salako.
Reconciliation.
Immediate past chair of
should be a
Labour
tool.
Party, but as he himself has said, he said it more than once.
Partyless.
He said he's partyless now. I'm just going to, I don't have the time to explore that, but thank you very much for coming on. Again, once again.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Our pleasure. So that's our program today. That's our program today. Please join us on Monday for a fresh edition. I'm Yori Folarin. Bye-bye for now.
Of Abuja.
If you're not real, you will be consumed, okay?
Stop calling me my mom joke. You're fucking at me.
We have an intruder in the house. The meter of the disgrace is rising. You're old.
Who said I need deliverance? Ha!
Friend! It wasn't me, but she got me on the wasn't it? Arafat pulled me aside for a chat. No.
The real Abuja only on Showmax.